What name does Green Lantern use when he plays basketball? Hal Jordan. Thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel for this comic book editions video featuring a haul of comic books from Half Price Books. Included in it are some vintage Bronze Age comic books. I always think it's exciting when I'm able to find the older titles that I need for my collection at a Half Price Books. I'm excited about the books I'll be sharing with you today. I'd love to know also if you have any of the books that I'll show today in your collection, or if you're hunting them, or what your favorite cover out of everything that I'm going to show today is. Your comments are always welcomed, encouraged, and appreciated. Let's get started with our haul. The beginning of our haul is almost a follow-up to my Comic Book Editions Volume 181 video. In that, which was a guest starring Wonder Woman theme, I picked up some Batwoman comic books from Half Price Books. These Batwoman comic books had guest starred Wonder Woman, and I picked up issues 12, 13, and 14, and I thought that completed the story arc. But when I got to the end of reading issue 14, I realized I was in trouble because the story continued on in issue 15. So I was able to pick up issue 15 here when I went back to Half Price Books. They had a pretty good haul of Batwoman comic books, and I felt pretty confident that these issues might still be waiting for me when I got back there. And luckily for me, they were. I think what threw me off, though, is looking at this cover. Wonder Woman's not depicted on the cover, but in all fairness, Wonder Woman and Batwoman are barely in the story. They're in kind of the beginning and the end, bookmarking the story. What's really featured in this issue is Maggie Sawyer and what was going on while Wonder Woman and Batwoman were out of town, what was happening with her. So I think when I was looking through the covers and I saw this and didn't see Wonder Woman on the cover, I thought, oh, well, that completes the story arc. And I didn't really look much further. My mistake. But luckily, a mistake that was able to get fixed. If I would have paid a little bit more attention originally, I would have saw that Wonder Woman is back on the cover for issue number 16. By the way, these are all comic books from 2013. Now, Half Price Books really isn't that close to me, but it is close to my LCS, which would also make sense that is not close to me if Half Price Books is not close to me. My LCS is about a 90-minute drive one way, so I don't go there all that frequently, but when I do, I try to swing over to Half Price Books to see what they might have to offer. And lately, for a long time, I wasn't really finding stuff that kind of fit my niche of collecting, but lately that's kind of changed. And that's what I love about the store is the inventory is always updated and changing and evolving. So when I do get to the LCS, I try to swing over there and find something. And since I had to pick up Batwoman 15 and realized that the story arc guest starring Wonder Woman wasn't done, I needed to pick up issue 16 as well. And then the story arc finally concludes in Batwoman issue 17. Now, I do remember seeing this, once again, Wonder Woman not on the cover. To me, this is one of the iconic covers for the Batwoman series of Volume 1. Because I did remember this cover, just wasn't aware that Wonder Woman was in the story. Very minor key in the story as well, because it's the first Betty Kane. She appears, she formerly was Flamebird and Batgirl, but she's Hawkfire. And it's her first appearance as Hawkfire in this issue as well. Also wrapping up that guest starring Wonder Woman storyline that started in issue 12. So 6 issues is probably, I think, a pretty considerable margin of time to have a guest star in your book and to do a story arc. So I've enjoyed the story arc as well. So I'm happy to add that into my collection. My friend Sarah had these issues and I kind of paged through them once at her home, but never really sat down to read them until I had them into my collection now. Showing you some more pickups from Half Price Books. This one you probably already knew that I had in my collection because I kind of gave a little preview of it in my back issue of the week YouTube short that I did for back issue of the week, volume 111. Usually I don't like to buy comic books just for the sake of making content. But around that time I knew I wanted to do something with Justice League and Suicide Squad because the video game was such a huge hit. And I thought, I need a comic book to do that. And I looked through some of the comic books that I had, and they were okay. And then I saw this at Half Price Books, and it was only $1. And I thought, you know what, $1's worth investing in. And it was a very good investment because not only did that YouTube short do very well for me, which you should check out if you haven't already, I actually really enjoyed the story as well and thought it was a good story. So we have Ed Benz as part of this Justice League Volume 2 team, issue number 18 with the Suicide Squad. And my back issue of the week YouTube short 111 fills you in completely on what happens within this story. Forever Evil. So this is interesting, at least to me. I didn't set out to collect this. This was a big DC Comics event in 2014. Everything was Forever Evil. That was their big crossover, their big everything. And I ended up getting 2 issues of Forever Evil in a Comic Jabroni mystery box, which if you remember all the way back to Comic Book Editions Volume 7, I unboxed that. So a very early video on my channel. And I got 2 issues of Forever Evil. I think it was issue 2 and issue 7. And then I got a bunch of Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man. And for those that knew Edwin, the Comic Jabroni, I don't have to say anything more. For those of you that didn't get the pleasure of knowing him, what an amazing human he was and what a mark he left on so many people, myself included. And I think of him often, and I miss him all the time. And I think part of the reason why you're probably seeing me really focusing in on the runs of Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man is because that reminds me of Edwin. Because when I got those books out of his mystery box, I was like, oh, these really still hold up and they're really good. And then these Forever Evil that I had in my mystery box, I thought was really good as well. So when Half Price Books had some more of the issues, I wanted to take advantage of that. Here we have issue 4, David Finch cover, and I actually love this cover with Luthor and Batman battling it out with the crime syndicate behind them. I just think that that is such a cool cover. So it was a 7-issue limited series for the main title, plus there were crossovers and several different books that DC published as their event for that entire year. And from this Half Price Books run, now that I show you this awesome Nightwing cover for issue 6, that means I have issues 2 through 7. So the only one I'm missing, obviously, is issue number 1, which I'll make a priority sometime. So I got the 2 issues from Edwin the Comic Jabroni in his mystery box. I picked up another issue like at a comic show once and then found these at Half Price Books. So only missing issue number 1, which is not expensive at all. And I will make a priority so I'm able to complete this run sometime relatively soon. If you read the Forever Evil run, which really spotlights the villains, I'd love to know what you think about it too in the comments section below. This book, not in mint condition, but it was $1. And I saw it at Half Price Books a couple times and passed on it. And then the last time I was at Half Price Books, I just take my $1. This was a promo comic book, Superman and Wonder Woman #1 that was done with Wendy's. I might actually have one of these that would probably be in better condition in my collection, but when I started going through my CLZ, I didn't see it. So I thought better safe than sorry. At first, I thought this was just a reprint of the Superman Wonder Woman title from 2013. This promo came out in 2014. I thought it was a reprint of issue number 1, the one that Charles Soule wrote, but it isn't. This is a new original story. Essentially, Brainiac is going to take the intelligence of Metropolis and then bottle the city up. And he's aware of Superman, but he has no idea who Wonder Woman is. And Clark Kent and Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen are covering an event that Wonder Woman's speaking at for the Daily Planet when Brainiac attacks. And then Superman and Wonder Woman team up together to take Brainiac down. Also, at one point, there is a little cameo appearance of a Wendy's restaurant, and Superman talks to some of the kids there about the little Superman and Wonder Woman toys, premium toys that they're playing with out of their Happy Meal. So they get Wendy's gets a little advertising in there as well. But for $1, I said, let's just go for it this time, even though it's not in mint condition, even though it might be a duplicate copy, still no worries. I'm getting ready to get into the vintage section of the comic books, the Bronze Age books that I picked up at Half Price Books. But first, I want to say, if you're not subscribed to my channel, I hope you take this opportunity to do so. I'm trying to grow the channel to 1,000 subscribers, and your help certainly would be appreciated. If you already are subscribed, thank you, and thanks for watching. It means more to me than you'll ever know. But to help the algorithm, give this video a thumbs up, a like, a heart too, and share the channel or the video with someone that you think might be interested in it. Okay, let's get into a few of those Bronze Age books that I picked up from Half Price Books. So one time I was at Half Price Books and I did something that I normally do not do. I walked past a little pricing counter. And the reason I don't do it is for the exact reason what happened when I walked past the pricing counter. They had a huge stack of comic books that they were pricing. I didn't know if they were pricing them or just getting a quote for someone who wanted to sell them. And there was a whole bunch of, it looked like they had just finished up Flash and were working on Green Lantern comic books. And I already saw books that I wanted. So the problem is, if this is a quote they're making for a customer, I don't know if the customer is going to accept that quote, if these books are going to end up being sold there. And also, when they buy a book or are pricing a book, I think there's a law in my state that says they have to wait so long after they buy it before they can put it out in case it's not stolen property. So that's why I usually don't check. But I saw some of these flashing Green Lanterns and I went, oh, I already see some that I want. This one was a complete impulse purchase. It's a Dick Giordano cover for The Flash, Volume 1, issue number 235. I think this is a 1975 comic book. We got Green Lantern guest starring. We have Vandal Savage. I think that I haven't read it yet, but I think from the little blurb I read about this that Vandal Savage kidnaps Iris West. So Barry Allen enlists Jay Garrick and Hal Jordan to help him out in this issue. Just an impulse purchase. They had a lot of Flash books, but this is the one I thought I kind of was in the mood to read a Flash, or thought I would be soon, and this is the one that I decided an impulse with. It definitely was a Green Lantern collector that they had bought some stuff from, and I was so excited to see this one, Green Lantern Volume 2, Issue 103. We're now at 1978. Denny O'Neil was writing Green Lantern at this time. And Green Arrow co-star in this book. And they're having a big space epic story. As a matter of fact, this was even reprinted in a trade paperback called Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Space Traveling Heroes. I don't remember that trade paperback, but the story was fun. I'm trying to collect the issues that Black Canary was part of when she was with Green Arrow in these Green Lantern, Green Arrow stories. It's almost the DC equivalent to how I'm trying to collect the Black Widow guest star / co-headlining story she did with Daredevil. This is almost like my DC equivalent of that. One interesting little thing is while Black Widow is in the story and she's with Green Arrow in space, she's not dressed in her costume. She's in her Dinah Lance civilian identity. So, but on the cover, of course, to be recognized easier and faster, she's depicted as Black Widow. Excuse me, Black Canary. Oh my gosh, I'm getting all my characters and my universes mixed up. But she's depicted in her Black Canary disguise on the cover. Just a fun cover, a great thing. You'll see a little bit more of Green Lantern comic books from this era in the future on my YouTube channel and future comic book editions videos for sure. It is a run that I am working on. And then this is something that I had actually been looking at for a while as well. Sometimes Half Price Books doesn't have the old Bronze Age comic books, so when they do have them, for me it's exciting. Like I said, living 90 minutes away from one, I feel people in that town get a faster or an opportunity to snatch them up faster than I do. So to just be there at the right time in the right place, it all ends up being timing. So it worked out in my favor this time. Secret Origins, Volume 1, Issue number 2. This is from 1975 with Nick Hardy doing an original cover. It's reprints in there. You know, I was just talking recently on my YouTube channel on the Secret Origins of DC Heroes book that I picked up. Well, these are some Secret Origins reprinted as well. We have Supergirl's origin from Action Comics 252. How I would love to own an original copy of Action Comics 252. It's just so out of my budget. But oh, I would enjoy that so much. I love that cover too. We have the Hal Jordan Green Lantern origin from Showcase number 22. I know that's getting ready to be done as a facsimile. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up or not, but I did enjoy rereading this story. I had read it sometime in the past before. And then the Atom's first appearance from Showcase number 34. That one out of the 3 stories was a clunker. That one was also reprinted in my Secret Origins of DC Heroes book that I was just talking about that I showed previously on my comic book editions video. That one was kind of a clunker compared to the other 2. But a fun story. I also have issue number 3, the next issue. I've had that in my collection for a while with Wonder Woman and Wildcat, their origins reprinted. So didn't take me long when I saw this. I was kind of like, oh, yes, I'm kind of interested in this. And like I said, must have been a Green Lantern collector because all of these books kind of feature Green Lantern in there. So first of all, Marvel Comics collectors, yes, I'm still collecting Marvel. I'm sorry that I didn't show any in today's video, but don't give up on me or my channel because we'll make yours Marvel pretty soon on the channel. I promise there's some Marvel coming too. As I mentioned at the beginning, what did you think? Let's comment about all of these books. If you're looking for any of them, if you have any of them, if what your favorite cover was, I'd love to dialogue about that with you. I mentioned earlier the back issue of the week, YouTube short, 60-second short. If you haven't checked out this week's back issue of the week short, I hope you will do that. It's always a lot of fun for me to pull a comic book out of my collection and just share a little bit about the book with you. There's Fanboys Live in the Retro Review this Sunday, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 7:15 p.m. Central on my YouTube channel. So I hope you make plans to attend that. It's the greatest DC comic show on YouTube. It's always fun interacting with the live chat too. It's great if you watch in the rewind, but if you can join us live, that's even better. Thanks for making it to the end of this comic book editions video. I appreciate you so much and hope you have a great week. I'll see you soon. Take care. I had it perfect in that first take, but I didn't have my damn books put together. I'm so mad.